Lord Mayor of London, it's a pleasure to have you with us on CNN Business Arabic.
Lovely to be here.
Thank you. So if we want to talk about economic challenges and
Yes.
political challenges, how is London facing economic and political turmoil?
Yeah, it's very interesting about London. A lot of people said that when Brexit happened, that London would cease to be a big global financial centre. At the time of Brexit, we had 525,000 people working in the financial district. Last time we counted, a few months ago, we were up to 678,000. If you add in then Canary Wharf, plus the hedge fund area in Mayfair, we have 880,000 people working in financial professional services in London. That compares to the total population of Frankfurt, 723,000. So it just gives you an idea. We are an extraordinary number of people doing it. Also, we've got 2.5 million people in the sector in the United Kingdom. That's 1 in 13 of the workforce. So I think London and the rest of the United Kingdom, when it comes to financial services, they're in pretty good shape.
What role do you see London playing in future global finance?
In global finance, I think it's absolutely essential. I think London and New York continue to be the two largest global financial centres in the world. And I think look at the areas where London is really strong. They're all growing. Look at insurance, global insurance growing remarkably. Legal services, again, London is the centre of legal services, again growing remarkably. Asset management, again, London very strong in that, plus banking. So all those sectors where London is really strong, there is real growth. Also, the exciting areas of fintech and green finance, both of them again growing remarkably. London is certainly the European, if not the world centre for each of those two areas.
How is London adapting to the rise of financial markets like Dubai, like Singapore?
But of course, they're competitors, and we have a good competitive relationship with them. I've been to both Dubai and Singapore during the course of my marathon and seen, they are significant competitors. Having said that, what London has is this extraordinary cluster of clusters, in effect, extraordinary number of people. We've already talked about that, but also just the expertise, the creativity. You add that into the extraordinary research institutes, plus also universities that we have in the United Kingdom. We have incredible developments in place in areas such as law tech, reg tech, all the sort of frontier areas. So we're growing really very well, and I'm very pleased with the way London is rising to the challenges. There's obviously space for other markets as well, but I think London is in a particularly good place at the moment.
There's always space for everybody, but you talked about fintech, you talked about artificial intelligence. How is London coping with the adoption of AI, and how is it affecting the labor market there?
I think there's a differential between big companies and smaller companies.
Yes.
Big companies have been adopting AI for the last decade and a half. They have whole departments devoted to it. Whereas smaller companies, the penetration as well are thinner, which is a sadness. So I think one of the messages I have during the course of my year is for small and medium-sized enterprises to be really put this up on their list in order to make sure that they're adopting it in a more sustained manner. I think when it comes to employment, that's obviously an issue. I know that particularly at the lower end, employment is very tight. I think therefore we've got to make sure that the more people are being properly trained. Again, our universities are rising to that challenge, both in terms of degree courses, master's courses, but also in terms of executive education. I think that's the way that London is adapting, one of the ways in which London is adapting to this great challenge.
With the economic expansion, is the London transport system ready for this expansion?
Well, we've had a remarkable success just recently in the form of the Elizabeth line, which is really very beautiful. I'd urge anyone who has not tried the Elizabeth line in London to go and try it. It's very beautiful. It works very well. I think give you an idea of what we can do. I think that there are parts of the transport system that obviously needs to be looked at and needs a bit more attention. But I do sense that really London is a fantastic world city. The great thing about London also is there's a lovely expression that I like to use, and that is, effectively, if you want to meet Americans, go to New York. If you want to meet the world, come to London. It's an incredible number of people from around the world all converge on London. But that hasn't changed. I think we need to make sure the transport system keeps pace.
And which sectors do you believe are most promising?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've already mentioned areas like RegTech and InsurTech, FinTech, these sorts of areas. I think there are some extraordinary opportunities there. But London has so many sort of strengths. Look at the strengths in green finance, working out green bonds, green sukuk, these sorts of areas. Plus also, I mentioned sukuk, Islamic finance, Sharia compliant finance. Again, remarkable depth in expertise in those sorts of areas. So that's, but I also think the strongest areas are probably legal services and also insurance. They are both growing remarkably well. I was just with a whole load of insurers just recently, and the market is extremely strong. Lloyd's market, plus also all the other insurance participants. Things are very strong at the moment.
And we're conducting the interview here at FII.
Yes.
What kind of partnerships are you building with the Gulf, in Saudi, in the UAE, for example?
Well, we've got an excellent thing. Operation that we've just we had a meeting with just now, and that is the UK Saudi Sustainable Infrastructure Assembly. That's a coming together of professionals in relation to doing Saudi-based infrastructure projects. How can the UK-based consultants, how can they get better prepared to work on a number of the Saudi-based infrastructure? So I think that's one area where we're very strong. Another area is something called the Mansion House Accord, which is something I've been spearheading during the course of my mayoralty, and that's 17 of the largest pension funds in the United Kingdom. And they put together a programme for around about £100 billion, $130 billion in relation to investing into alternative assets. I've been talking to a lot of Saudi counterparts as to how to deploy those billions together with Saudi Arabian interests, for instance.
And the UAE?
UAE as well. We were in UAE just a few months ago having the same sort of conversations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I've enjoyed it very much.